after we Marseille, I said, bring me AC Milan, bring me Inter Milan. I want these two bozos. The Serie A is nothing. And you know what?
So you think
Conte's
you're going to beat AC
to his
Milan?
stomping ground.
I fully fit AC Milan, you know.
Conte's going to his stomping ground and he's just going to have some fun. He's going to have some,
Oh
what do you call it?
my
Some
God.
wine, some pasta.
Yeah. You really think you're going to beat AC Milan in the Champions League?
And we're going to batter them. We're going to beat Inter Milan.
Batter them.
Nothing.
Hey, it is what it is. You live and learn. I've been clipped up before it happens. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome to this football. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are out here. Today, we're going to be speaking Tottenham Hotspur, ladies and gentlemen. 100% a Tottenham Hotspur video. There is no better time to speak on Tottenham Hotspur than when their manager gets sacked. Once again, Mourinho and then Nuno and then Conte and then Nagelsman's coming and blah, 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 blah. So we're here to talk about Tottenham Hotspur, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys know, the name of the channel is This is Football, not This is Anfield. So we're here to speak on all football clubs as much as possible. So everyone watching us right now or on the replay, you guys already know the drill. Make sure you slap the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're ready to do so. Everyone right now, everyone watching us, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to This Football. I don't want to keep saying it, so slap up that like button. Already 50 people up in here. We ain't even started yet. Big up everyone in the comments. I see you guys. Big up UM. Big up Ryan with a super chat. He says people compared Conte to Klopp. Norbert is clear. My brother. Hey. We're going to have that Conte conversation, you best believe. Big up to Tarun, Mustafa, Amirali. Big up Banda Zoot. Big up Captain Sal, Mohammed Ammar. Big up to you guys. Mustafa, David is in the building, man, like DM. Big up to True Blue Clay is in the house. Big up Ilya. Big up everyone. Slap the like, subscribe. Big up Ryan for the super chat. And let me introduce my two panelists. First of all, the guy that you saw in the intro. You know, I told him today, listen, I cannot do a Tottenham Hotspur special without you. I'm going to need you on this channel. And, you know, we actually changed the time for him because we were supposed to go live at 11, but we edited it just so Mr. George can make an appearance on This is Football. It's been a long-ass time since he's made an appearance. Out of the Champions League now. Conte's been sacked, so clearly everything he said in that intro, the reverse happened. But he's joining us today, man. Like, George, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, actually, I'm not so good. I'm not going to sit here and stun. Things aren't going too great. I've got my do-rag on, and this is the only thing blue that I've got going on right now. Because, yeah, it's just Tottenham's falling apart. North London's falling apart. And as you said, all of my words was just, I ate them. I ate all my words for dinner. And, yeah, it just wasn't all good, man. It's not all good right now.
It happens, my brother. It happens. Mostly at your club, though. But, you know, this is what we're here to discuss because I know you've got a few people you want to lay into. But I just want to say, Terry, don't give you them intros, huh? You don't get them intros anywhere else.
Right about that. You definitely are.
Big up, man. Big up, George. And joining us on the channel as well is a man that I have tried to get on the channel before, but he always be making them excuses, Mr. Celebrity Ass. But joining us from the most toxic football channel on YouTube. Hands down the most toxic football channel on YouTube, and I'm sure he got roasted there a couple times already this season over there on Big Six Bands. Make sure to go check them out. Joining us on the channel is none other than the man himself, always repping Tottenham Hotspur everywhere he goes. Man like Ethan, how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. You've caught me at a humble time, to be honest. You know, I think the last time we were on the stream was beginning of the season. You know, I think you were back in Conte, yeah. But yeah, it's all, you know, it's that time of the year we've come to talk about Tottenham and not for the right reasons. You know, another season without a trophy, and yeah, I'm not the most happiest. I'm not the happiest at the moment.
Honestly, if I was in a better position, I'd be smiling a lot more. But I'm horrible too, so I'm just here to ask questions. Don't attack me. Yeah. I'm just here to ask questions. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Big up to you, Ethan, man. Big up to you, George. And Mons don't give you them intros either. I'm just saying.
There you go for privilege.
Mons, you better upgrade your game, brother. You better upgrade your game. You better show Ethan the respect that he deserves on that channel. Let me tell you now.
Especially in times of need. Exactly.
Especially in times of need, definitely. So, guys, listen, slap up the likes, as I said, subscribe, big up Ryan for the super chat, and let's get this party started. So, first, we're going to start up with, of course, the one topic. You know, I don't remember the last time I've seen a manager sack himself, But after that press conferences, it was just a matter of time. So let's just start with George, then we'll go to Ethan, and after that we'll just open the floor up, just have regular conversations. George, what's your reaction to the news? How do you feel about Conte leaving?
Do you know what? Yeah, it's taken so long. It really has. It's taken like a week for this sacking to take place. The news has been out there, so I've become accustomed to the fact that he's gone. So it's not so much a shock to me when it happened, and when Conte it was announced, I was just like, oh, just another day in a Tottenham life, another day in the life as a Tottenham fan. Just some more news coming out just to break your hearts. And yeah, man, Conte gone. I wasn't happy about it, not at all. And all the words that he said in the press conference, I echoed quite a lot of them. The team's not good enough. The players got no attitude, lack of mentality, lack of experience, just not winners. And I don't blame him for taking the stance that he did. I do think that he hasn't done enough at our club to push them a bit further. I think there's been times where he's got to take some blame and he's got to take accountability for the team not being good enough. But ultimately, he wasn't wrong, and I don't really blame him for being in this position and not wanting to continue the season as Tottenham manager. I mean, the players clearly aren't playing for him at this moment in time after the numerous of press conferences he's come out and called out players. I'd like to see a bit more specific with the players. I thought he could have said a few player names or just been a bit more specific if it's the defense, it's the midfielders, it's the young players, or it's the senior players, or the players that have been like he should have showed a bit more specific so us as fans can take that away. But he was very real and he kept it true. He said, look, the fans don't deserve this, which we don't. We don't deserve watching dross football. We don't deserve watching our team lose. And I felt like, to be honest, after the game against Sheffield United, which he wasn't even managing, but the team, he was there. He was there with the team. Like, he was on the phone and he's managing the game from behind the scenes. I thought after that game, it was sort of the beginning of the end. I thought we're not really going to see much more from this season. From we're out of the FA Cup, there's nothing that he personally is going to aim to achieve this season, because he wins trophies, and if he doesn't win a trophy, it's a bad season for Conte, rightly so. And so I feel like, yeah, it's just the beginning from the end.
Because there was Spurs fans, George, who like took that press conference and just attacked Conte, and there were people who agreed with him. Like, which side of the argument?
I agreed with him. I've been Conte, even all the way to this day. I was Conte in. I wanted Conte to stay at Spurs. I believe Conte is the manager that we could have flourished with, and if he got what he wanted from the board and from the players, and then reacted the way he wanted, Tottenham would have succeeded and we would have progressed as we should have. But ultimately, so the players are the same players that let us down for Poch, let us down for Nuno, they let us down for Jose. They're going to let us down again. And he knows that. And Conte said that. And there is a few players that I think Conte, he's given new contracts to, like Eric Dyer. Or I believe Eric Dyer got a contract under Mourinho, but he wasn't trying to force him out. He gave Ben Davies a new contract. And he gave a couple of these players that look good in form under him because they got good attitudes and they show a good work ethic. You give those players new contracts, that's what breeds loser mentality at our club, and we need to get rid of those. And yeah, I'm not happy about losing Conte, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And I guess just hoping for the best going forward as a Tottenham fan, man. I need a plan. I need to see some type of plan, a 5-year step or a 5-step plan. Like, Tottenham are going to do this, and this is how we aim to win the league. I want to see that. If it's a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, I don't give a fuck. I just want to know how we're going to get back to being the best team. Well, I say back. We ain't been there in my lifetime. We ain't been there in my lifetime. So how are we going to get there? I need to see it.
Yeah, get there still. Ethan, what are you saying? What's your opinion on this whole content?
Well, just really echo what George said, really. I'm pissed that he had to go, because he did have to go, especially coming. I think he wanted to go. I think it works for both parties. But at the same time, the most frustrating thing about the whole Conte era wasn't the style of football. It was the snippets of what could have been in it. So I'm going to quickly read his statement. He said, "Football is passion. I would like to deeply thank everyone at Spurs who appreciated and shared my passion and my intense way of living in football as a coach." I'm just going to stop there, yeah? He's highlighted passion and intense, yeah? And I think he was really honest when he came out and said certain things in the press conference, innit? So it was his final straw. He had nowhere else to hide. And he came out and criticized the players for, almost being like addicted to win, like him in it. There's a lack of desire, and that's mad frustrating. Considering he's bigged up these players. He said Eric Dyer could have the possibility to be what, the top centre back in the world, which is crazy. How did Eric Dyer repay that? Stinkers. He wanted flipping Bastoni, got Longley. Like, there was a lot of positives in his tenure and his short term, but it wasn't great, innit? And then he said a special thought to the fans who always showed love and support and appreciation. It's been unforgettable to hear them singing my name. Our journey together has ended, and I wish you all the best for the future. It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
You know that Bastoni transfer, I can't lie to you, and George will know this from the conversations in the summer. Had you guys had Bastoni and Romero, you could have played 4-3-3, you could have played a lot more offensive, you could have done a whole lot different. Getting Longley after Bastoni, honestly, that is just, you know, that's like my situation where my fan base are convincing me that Mount is okay over Bellingham. Like, you get me? Like, there's levels to this type of thing. Like, Bastoni would have taken you to the next level defensively.
That was the big difference, is we went from buying a centre-back in which, like, we failed to realise that we spent all this money early on in the summer transfer window, but we never addressed our main issue, which is our defence. We've had a defensive issue for about 5 seasons. 5 seasons, by the way, and we haven't signed a proper world-class centre-back, or if not a top-class centre-back. We signed Romero, brought him in, and it was clear to see you needed a player to partner with Romero to push us on just that little bit. Just that little bit to push us on and make that one extra signing. And we start to address all the other problems in our squad, apart from the main one. And then we bring in Longley, a player that barely starts half of this season. Is on loan, having his worst stint of his career at Barcelona. And he comes here and just drops stinker after stinker. I don't really expect anything from Longley. So when he's playing bad, I'm not like, oh yeah, Longley should be better. Longley is shit. He was literally pushed out of the Barca squad for a reason. And I just can't believe that that's the type of players that we gave to him. And when people say Conte's been backed, Conte's not been backed. You don't give a manager Longley as his centre-back target and the focal point of his defence if you're trying to back a manager. I really just don't see that. I really think that we lacked we didn't back him in the summer. We haven't done enough to progress throughout this season. And then I feel like Conte, attacking wise, I don't know what's gone wrong, but Son, Kulu, it wasn't clicking like it was last season. And I don't know if that's something going on behind the scenes, but it's just not clicking. And it seems like whenever they're not at Tottenham, Son seems to be having the time of his life with South Korea. Just this weekend, he banged a free kick and banged another goal from the edge of the box. I ain't seen that form in the Premier League for months. I was going to say weeks, but it's months. And yeah, no, just Conte. There's obviously some things going on in the background, but we failed him. We failed him as a club.
Yeah, but you know what it is for me, George and his family. Yeah, it's the fact that you gave this guy one window. You gave him Bentancur and Kulusevski. He revitalized the team. Had Ben Davies playing well. Got us top 4 over Arsenal, which is very impressive. It's a bit of nothing short of a miracle. Then going into the summer window, all right, he got Perisic, all right, on a free. He got Basuma, not his signing, and he got Richarlison for 60 million. But like you said, George, the main issue was the defense. And who did we sign? Longley, bro. It's ridiculous. The same money that could have been spent on flipping Jed Spence, or Destiny's a great signing, but Jed Spence or Richarlison should have been invested further into our defense. That's the main issue. It's ridiculous, really, when you break it down. But I don't know. He didn't help himself, innit? He didn't help himself.
When you say he didn't help himself, there's people out there, obviously, like, I'm gonna be real. I got 2 Spurs fans with tastes on this panel right now. But if I got like another Spurs fan, he'd be on Conte's neck for like all the sort of like mistakes he made tactically, etc. Like the whole Conte out movement, and you know, we should move on from Conte, etc. Where do you guys land with that whole, you know, sort of Conte out situation that people had going on, and people questioning his tactics, his decisions? Why do you start this guy, not this guy, Richarlison, blah blah blah? Like, what's your thought process on that?
For me, I think it's mainly the Champions League. You know, I think even if you look at the group stages, we were going to Sporting. We went to what was the worst game, George? Was it Marseille?
Marseille was. Do you know what? It's hard to say because they were a hard team as well, but they were supposedly the easier game in the group.
They were there for the taking. I'm frustrating as a Spurs fan. You're in the Champions League. You work so hard to get to the Champions League. You rock up to Marseille. They're literally not even playing great, and you're just sitting back. There's no game plan. There's no idea. The substitutions are late. You know, in that sense, there's not really much you can do. Fast forward onto last week, or earlier this month, you've got dropping out of the FA Cup, resting Kane not coming on for the 70th minute. Don't get me wrong, the squad was good enough. It was just poor. Fast forward on to the next week, AC Milan away, you've got to score a goal. And, you know, I'm sure everyone's seen that. Red card, poor substitutions. Like, the patience runs thin. Players are not ignorant. Players are seeing what we're seeing, if not more. And he's not helping himself in that sense, you know? Not the proactive. So going forward with the next manager, that's something I need to see. I need to see someone that's less tactically stubborn, someone that's looking to take risks, someone that's looking to take the game towards them. You know, we've been starved of positive football since Poch. So we've had Nuno, Mourinho, Conte.
I'm about to ask you a question on this as well.
Yeah, I don't want to touch
the last 3 years now. The last 3 years just look pointless. Do you guys agree with this, AJ? What AJ is saying when he says Conte getting top 4 last season was a miracle?
Yeah.
I feel like that was overrated. Like, overrated as in a lot of people call it a miracle, but it really wasn't. We won the games that we were supposed to win, and that was just the basic be-all and end-all of it. And last season, you remember, Sam, I was saying from the start, as soon as Conte came in, I said, we're getting top 4, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You used to say it in spaces all the time, and that's because the games we had, we won. The difference was Arsenal didn't win their games. They played long games and they went stints without picking up points. And so we deserved to get to top 4. It wasn't a miracle. We just won the games when we needed to. And we beat Arsenal in the final running into that to literally make that happen. So that wasn't a miracle. But on your point about the Conte out movement, look, I think that some of them made some good points. There's definitely some good points made and you can't take it away from them. I think, like Ethan said, he's far too tactically stubborn. I think he showed in many games his tactical in-game management is not elite. He's an elite manager, but he cannot make a change in game or make subs to change the game or do a formation change to make something happen. If he's not winning the game from the start,
do you think he had the options to do that?
He did. And that's the thing. The only reason I say so 100% now is because you can see in January, especially post-January, when we brought in Danjuma, we brought in Pedro Porro, we now had a lot more attacking options. It was no longer Lucas on the bench and all these other players. Or Lucas was on the bench, and then you saw he's bringing on Lucas instead of bringing on the new signing, Danjuma who scores goals. Danjuma, who's just come from Villarreal, last season had his best season of his life, and we're not playing him in front of Lucas Moura, who's 30 years old. I feel like he was a bit too stubborn, not in just tactics, in his man management. He had favorite players, and he would choose his favorite players time in, time out. And he's an old-fashioned manager, whereas he had an 11, he stuck to his 11. He doesn't change the 11-man squad. He just keeps with them, and he has 3 or 4 players that he brings in every now and then. And I saw a stat as well that he'd only ever make his first substitution after the 70th minute. That's a problem. You're waiting until there's 20 minutes left of the game for you to try and change the game. When at some points we're 2-0 down, we're 3-0 down. So I thought that the Conte out movement, they had a lot of valid points, some of them. But I just thought that a lot of them were trying to say, let's get rid of him now. And then they had no option to bring in. They had no one else to bring in. And that was my problem with the Conte out movement, is you take out Conte, who do you go for that's better than Conte? Who's more prepared to win a trophy like Conte is? And who's going to take this team, like this dross of a team, as far as it can? I always thought it was Conte that could do it. I feel like he has taken it that far, but he could have done better. There's no doubt about that. But now we have other managers out there that, or one name in particular, that is very promising. And it makes me feel good about, like, if Conte's gone, this team could be in good hands if it goes that way. So it's not all so bad. And that's why I'm
going to ask you about that. But first, before we get to the future, I wanted to speak on the past a little because Ethan touched on it. Thoughts on Expressions' reaction to the sacking. I don't know if you guys watched it. I didn't watch it personally. Did any of you watch it?
I've just seen like the little clip of it. it was just typical expressions, man. The guy's funny, man. He was just making so many jokes, and that was about it. But I didn't really see his overall reaction. I only watched like the first 30 seconds. But I take it he's upset, but maybe glad at the same time.
Big up Qusay, man. Expressions told me I'm his new favorite Liverpool fan now. It's no longer James Redmond. So big up Expressions. Hit me up, man. Big up to AJ, says Nagelsman is overrated, but he's Tottenham's level. Big up to you, AJ, for the super chat. I'm going to get to that. But first, I want to talk about the past a little bit. Because you see Ethan and George, they're not going to get away with this lightly. Like, we ain't just going to move on Nagelsman and it's sunshine and rainbows. I want to talk about what the hell just happened over the last 3 years that have been absolutely pointless. Before I do that, listen, there's 120 people watching us right now. Make sure you slap up the like button. Make sure you subscribe to This Is Football if you're ready to do so. We told you, it's all inclusive, guys. Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, City. Well, City, no one cares like that. But, you know, United, we speak about everyone. So slap up the likes, subscribe to This Is Football. Big up to Qusay, AJ, and Ryan for the super chats. Everyone else, just slap up that like button right now. No reason why we should be on 100 likes already. Subscribe to This Is Football. Now, here's my thing, right? Because we have to ask the hard-hitting questions here as well. Like, listen, I'm a Liverpool fan. Me and you guys, we don't have a rivalry. Like, it's not a Liverpool-Spurs rivalry, so I'm not going to be an asshole to your club. But I also need to ask a few hard-hitting questions. When it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, you get Jose Mourinho. Sack him just before a Carabao Cup final, which I wholeheartedly, and I said at the time, believe that he would have won had they kept as the manager. Then you go get Nuno Espirito Santo after Jose Mourinho, and then you go and you get Antonio Conte, and we know what happened. So over the last 3, let's say, seasons, it's just been absolutely pointless. You switched from Pochettino, this attacking, flamboyant footballing system, to something so defensive and still didn't get a trophy out of it. Like, at least had Mourinho won the Carabao Cup, you'd been like, okay, we won the Carabao Cup 3 years ago, whatever, we won something, we celebrated something. Has the last 3 years just been absolutely pointless, like, for Tottenham Hotspur? Like what happened? Why after Poch goes so defensive 3 times in a row?
So you could see the pattern. You could really see the pattern that after Poch, we just went, let's win now. Like Tottenham's at this level. We thought we had such a great team. Well, they did. The owners thought we had such a great team. We'd made it to the Champions League final. What can we do? What do you do next? You win. Pochettino, they thought it was Pochettino's fault that we didn't win nothing. Partly so. He didn't go for the little trophies, and I didn't blame him for that at the time. But we just, like, there's no clear plan, and that was my problem. That is my problem right now. Since Pochettino, there's been no plan with Tottenham. It's just been bring a manager in and let's see what happens, rather than let's have a 3 to 4 year plan for this manager. This is where we're going to go. We're going to level up this season, and then the next season we're going to aim for this, and the next season we're going to aim for that. That's how we get to the league title. We haven't had that plan since Pochettino. And yeah, you're right. I'm not going to lie. You're right. It's just been a waste of time because we've literally done nothing apart from stagnate. We went from, after Poch left, we finished 6th, or we finished 7th, and then we finished 6th, and then 4th, and then 4th, and then whatever happens this season. So we've not been good.
Why did you just waste like 2 years of your life? Like, why?
I'm confused too, man. I'm confused too.
Like, the whole point of doing the whole defensive thing was to win trophies. You didn't even do that. Like, what the... So this whole 3 years was just for nothing.
You know, even if you look at, like, they all made sense at the time. Mourinho, you just lost out on a Champions League final. You know, he's starting to lose the dressing room. Away record's not great. You bring in a winner who has won everywhere but Tottenham Hotspur. He's won a flipping Conference League with Europa League. He's gone a flipping whole season unbeaten at home. He's won everything. One of the most decorated managers ever. It made sense. That's a good appointment. But again, if you make the right appointment and don't back him, goes tits up. You know? I think the most frustrating thing is I think under different circumstances it could have ended well. Let's say, for example, he won that League Cup against Man City. You know, Mourinho's finals and records amazing. We'll be having a different conversation. Now we'll be less under pressure. We wouldn't be on this 14-year drought. And I'd feel less tension in terms of our direction. If we went and got Poch, I'd be like, okay, cool. The guy can come and win a trophy for us. We can start playing. We can reinvigorate the squad. We can start playing attacking football. It would make sense. Bring in Nagelsmann, same thing. Desabri, same thing. But now there's a certain expectation and an extra added weight for whoever comes in. A, they've got to impress the fans. B, they've got to lift the squad. and also make the current squad, because we know how owners are, make the current squad play a lot better. And they've got to play attacking football. That's 3 things, which makes the job extra, ultra hard.
And don't forget the pressure, the added pressure of being the first manager to bring the trophy to Tottenham for 50 years.
Do you get it? And then you got the cloud across Harry Kane. Like it's just a mess. It's a mess. I think that's my biggest.
Do you think you've just gone back to the start of the cycle then? Under Poch?
Yeah.
Do you think you just went back to the start of the cycle under Poch then?
At this moment in time, we're getting to that point where we are resetting, and we're resetting as a whole back to maybe not the start of Poch, because before Poch, we wasn't a team that would make top 4. We was a European side.
You know what?
But we was floating in around 5th and 6th.
You know why I'd say this is worse, George? Yeah, I know, Sam. Because Arsenal are top of the league. These men are top of the league, playing sexy football, and we got Harry Kane running on the last year of his contract. This is a bigger mess. You know?
I can't lie. With the Harry Kane thing, and I've started to disassociate myself from Harry Kane slowly as the season goes on, because
you both already know where he's gonna go as well.
I do. I think he's gonna go to United. I do think that's gonna happen. If he doesn't leave the Premier League, that's the only other club that Tottenham would sell him to. Similar as we have done business with Man United historically. We've done it with Sheringham, done it with Berbatov. We've sold them loads of players, and it's always our star strikers. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes. And quite frankly, I'm at this point now where I'm willing to just say, you know what? Let's let this loser go. Let's let the loser go. I'm being real.
So now he's the loser.
He is a loser. I'm joining the brigade. He's a big-time loser. He's a loser. No player has lost more than this guy in semi-finals, finals, quarterfinals, whatever it is. I love Harry Kane as a player, and he's a legend for my club. But he's a legend for my club in a bad period at my club. It's not been good. He's been
this
the Harry
guy
Kane
is so shameless. If this
been
video
the Harry
was
Kane
done
team
in
for the
August,
past
he wouldn't be saying that.
He is one of our best players, but again, like, I'm willing to start the project again. You said we need to start from where, like I said, we're at the start of where we was before Poch. I feel like we need to go back to that point. And the only way we go back to that point is getting rid of Harry Kane too. Harry Kane's 31 years old.
Does the question now beg itself, essentially? This is why I took you all the way back to Poch. Should have you have just given Poch the money?
We should have. I was a massive Poch fan, and I was breaking down when we got rid of Poch. I was not feeling good. I was in all types of places. And then Jose come, and you even forgot about Poch the next day. I'm being real. I forgot about Poch as soon as Jose came in. But that was the bad thing. Because I'm
a bit in with you, George. The reason I ask that is I took you all the way in the cycle over the last 3 years, all the way back to Poch. And now all I'm thinking in my head is essentially this, whoever comes in, and we're going to talk about it now in a sec, Nagelsman, whoever, he's going to have to do what Poch did when he first come, but with just a better stadium, essentially. Like, that's basically it. Am I lying?
Our team's not. The thing is, the way our team was when Poch came, it might be just as bad, you know.
It might be, bro.
It might be after Tim.
Like I said, Arsenal are flying. There's that extra added pressure. We need to be up there with them. That's what's crazy. For me, I think the main thing, I think the old regime just got to go. Like, in terms of Lloris is on, I think his contract's done in the summer, isn't it?
I think he got a 2-year deal last summer, you know. I think he's got another year.
He's got to go or be back up completely. I think
he won't be first team goalkeeper next year. No way. Everyone that's like got a loser mentality or has had some sort of heartache. Anyone that's in the Champions League final, the Carabao Cup final, anyone's associated, we got to cleanse. We got to start. I hate to say, I envy Mikel. We need a manager that's hungry and has a desire to win that can reflect in the squad. Hussam, I was in your space earlier, innit? I was just listening to some of the stuff that people are saying, and I hated it. But it cut deep, and it was actually true, innit? Because Arsenal got Saka, they've got Smith Rowe, they've got, who's the other one from Martinelli. Not from the academy, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, young players,
of players that don't know about losing, they don't know about winning, they just know style of football, and they're excited. Do you know what I mean? They're not associated with these bunch of bums. Perisic washed up, Dyer washed up. Like, all the players, even Højbjerg, bro, he's contagious as well now. He's got to go, bro. He's got to go. It's the mentality side. Like, we got to completely pull out everything from the roots. But yeah,
I agree.
You need to burn. You need to burn the house down. Like you just need to.
And that's why I say about Kane, yeah, because when you deep it, like the way I see it is, yes, Kane's our best player, and he probably leads by example on the pitch, no doubt about that. But we've heard Kane speak. Kane's not that compelling when he speaks to your team. You can tell when he's speaking to that team in the dressing room. Yeah, come on, boys, let's get up. Like he sounds a bit like substitute.
Your change of energy is mad.
No, it's giving me a bit of substitute teacher vibes. Like it's just like, yeah, he's telling us what to do. It sounds good.
Ethan, he wasn't like this last year. I promise you.
I know.
Am I going to listen to him? I don't know. So really, like, I'm being truthful. Lloris, the same thing. I've never believed in your club captain being the goalkeeper. Him being our captain for the past 10 years or whatever it is, and not being that compelling figure. Like when I think of captains, I vision the likes of Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, the guys that are just screaming at their team, going nuts, like just when they're losing, slapping on the player's head, get in it, boys, get your head in it. Like that's why I envision. I don't see Lloris or Kane doing anything along those lines. And I feel like it trickles down from there. As the captain of your team sets the standard for the rest. And I need someone that's going to embody the vision and the winning mentality. And I just don't see Kane doing that. And that's not me saying Kane is a bad player or anything. I'm just saying that life without Kane might not be so bad. That's
it's a food for thought, innit? I'll be real. The best example I can give is Romero, innit? When Romero first joined us, he looked a crop above everyone else. Do you remember what I'm saying, George? He looked like out of place. He was that good. Yeah. Now he's blending in. That's not his fault. It's not like he's got any worse. It's the fact that it's like that saying that your parents teach you as a kid. If you are who you associate with. He's just trained with these crap guys day in, day out, and he's become just as bad as the rest of them, bro.
I can tell Ethan hates it. Like
I'm sick of it, bro. It's every year.
You know what he tells you when someone speaking, and you can just feel the disgust in his soul. Like his soul is disgusted. I can feel it, man. Big up, Ethan, man. Big up to Khusai says X agrees with the sacking, even though Spurs' problem is not the manager. I don't get his logic. You could get Ancelotti and still end up trophyless. I mean, look, in terms of ownership and stuff, I know the guys have already touched on it, George and Ethan both. You know, they're obviously against the ownership, the way the stuff's done. No one. And I'll say this as someone who's owned by Fenway Sports Group. No one wants their club to be run like a business. No one wants that. You want your football club to be run like a football club with ambition, with determination to win, with etc. So, you know, all of those things matter. And I think the Spurs fans, there's a reason why they're annoyed, you know, at their ownership, probably even more than Conte or Mourinho or even Nuno or whoever it is. And this is why I took them all the way back to the start of the cycle and said, you could have just gave Poch the money. You see all this 50 million we're giving Conte, 50 million gave Mourinho. Take that, 100 million, you know? And the reason why I did that is not just me, like, to be, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything, but my club and their club were both at the same level, by the way. And it was like, who's going to push on to the next level? We went and got Alisson and Van Dijk, and they simply didn't get their Alisson. They didn't get their Van Dijk. They didn't get their 2-3 world-class players who were going to push, you know, their level to the mountaintop. Tottenham Hotspur was a consistent Champions League club, and they made signings like the likes of Højbjerg and etc. And, you know, even maybe a signing like Jack Grealish, they couldn't get over the line, which is, you know, it's. I know it cuts deep for the guys, but I'm just going to have to say it, guys. I'm apologizing. I'm not enjoying this. I'm not a Spurs' rival. I'm just here to ask questions. I'm only the host of This Is Football. Big up to Nketiah's lawyer, and this is what Ethan was referring to. You see, all these Arsenal fans are celebrating in this comment section, by the way. All you see in the comment section is Nketiah this, Saka this, Arsenal that. They're just having fun up in this comment section. Haven't made anything for iftar tonight. Alhamdulillah, Conte cooked chicken FC. Oh, God. Anything to say back to that, guys? Or he's just going to let it go?
We got cooked, man. You know that meme? I'm getting cooked. That's how I feel like right now.
Oh, God, man. Unbelievable. Big up Nketiah's lawyer for the super chat. Big up to Qusay, AJ, and Ryan once again. Everyone, 150 people watching us right now. Slap the like. I think we're breaking record for a Spurs show, so slap the like button.
Come on, man. Let's get this likes up. Let's get this likes up for
like the video
right now, man.
It's
you
free,
guys must be happy. This is all rival fans in there, man.
Come on, man. Like the video, bro. So now we move forward into the future. Now we're back at step one. This is 2013 Tottenham right here. Like 2014 Tottenham, I swear. I'm not taking the piss. Like, I actually genuinely believe it. Like, I think whoever comes in now, his job is 100 times harder than any manager who came in over the last 3-4 years. His job right now, Ethan listed them already. Try to get the recruitment right, play offensive football, win a trophy. It's so much pressure. And besides, people like this guy, you need to stop them from being happy as well. Ethan mentioned that because they're top of the league right now. So it's just compounded misery if you guys will.
Compounded, bro. Like, I'll be real. I alluded to it a bit earlier. We need a Mikel Arteta in it. Obviously, it's sickening, the thought of it. But just to scrap everything by the roots, fresh ideas, fresh everything.
I don't like that term because it makes it seem like Arteta was the first guy to do a project, and he wasn't. He wasn't the first guy that was young and that came in and took over the team. We see that. Pochettino done it before Arteta. Yeah. As you said, Pochettino done it first. So many managers have done it. Klopp done it at Liverpool. Managers that come in, rip up a squad, and they make it their own, and they give them years
to do it. To an extent.
Ten Hag will be. I think he will be that when we look at it over the years. It's just done different. But I really think, like I said, we need to start again. When Pochettino's joined Tottenham, it was one season after Bale had left. So Tottenham had to do a whole reset. We done that whole transfer window where we brought in all these players. None of them were doing good enough. And he needed to come in and sort of bring his own philosophy, sort of come in and be like, look, this is the players I'm going to choose. This one I'm going to try. And he started to build the team from the bottom to the top. He had youth players playing the way that he needed to play them and started to promote them slowly. He had the young players doing that way. And the aging players, the experienced players that he didn't like, he got rid of. He put them to the side. The likes of Adebayor, he got rid of just quick. He didn't play games. And that's what we need to see from the next manager. I need to see a new manager come in and be like, you know what? These players have lost time in and time out under all the other managers. I'm not going to trust him. I want to get rid of him. I want to change him. We need something new here. We need to refresh this here. Because the likes of Davies, Dyer, Sanchez, that's just 3 centre-backs that have been at our club for, I think Davies been there for 10 years. Dyer is on like his 9th season. Sanchez is on like his 7th season. Somehow he's made it for 7 seasons at my club. And neither of these 3 have been starters in any of them, apart from Dyer. The other 2 have never been Tottenham starters until the last 2 managers that have come in. And from your being a starter at a club in your 8th, 9th season, it's saying something about the level of player that you are. Because they was never starters under Poch. Ben Davies never saw game time under Poch. He was a bench player. Dyer was told he was not good enough to be a centre-back under Poch. He was played as a CDM, and then he's getting pushed out of the team slowly and slowly. So I need to see if it is the likes of Nagelsman, someone who you'd give time 3 to 4 years, and you'd let them build, give them a contract, and someone who's tactically flexible. So he might need a bigger squad because he likes to change it around a bit more, and I don't mind that. But if we bring a manager in like him, like I say, the only thing that I liked, not the only thing, but one of the things I liked what Arteta done when he came in Arsenal, he terminated contracts. Forget selling. If we can't sell them, terminate the contract, because I don't want them a part of my squad. I don't want them ruining the mentality of the other players around them. And that's what we need to do. We can't have any bad eggs in this dressing room, because it seems like right now, that's what we have, and we have had for far too long. We got bad eggs in the dressing room that give up on managers far too quick when things aren't going right. And all they ever say is, oh, I miss Pochettino. I want to go back to Pochettino, because that's when times are nice. They don't know about when the going gets tough, get tougher. They really don't know about that, and that's the problem with Spurs.
Jules, that's my biggest fear. You see with Conte, that Ben Davies looked like he was done, and then he had a good end of the half of the season. Suddenly, he's back. This is my fear of a new manager who can bring out the best out of certain players, reinvigorating the likes of, God forbid, Lo Celso or Winks, come back from their loan. And then what? We got a Lo Celso or Winks on our hands.
Lo Celso?
Just imagine.
What he even plays for us.
Bro, it can happen, bro. It's possible.
We really have a new system. They work.
It's a vicious cycle. But this is what happens when you chop and change. All right, you half-heartedly back a manager like Conte Mourinho. The next manager has to deal with the crap that they bring in. Look at flipping Doherty. That's not a Conte signing. But Mourinho brought him in. He's a right wing back. It's just crap. But we'll see in it. We'll see.
Yeah, and now speaking of the future, because you know, I'm gonna get you guys to be happy a little bit now, so you can look forward a little bit instead of you looking back on all the crap you currently have as well. You know, that's the thing. Like the players that you have right now, I understand it's a little bit difficult, you know, because the certain names you were saying, man, out here talking about like Lo Celso and stuff. Like, damn, like, cannot believe we're out here talking about Lo Celso, like in 2023, you know, that's insane. That's a name I didn't expect to hear today. I'm gonna be real with you. Big up to His Majesty for the super sticker. He just says, nope. Big up to you, my brother. Big up to you. Thank you so much. So these here, he's touching on it. Marcelo Bielsa, Marcelo Gallardo, Nagelsman, other people in terms of the future now for Tottenham Hotspur. Where do you see this going? And go ahead, Ethan, since you were touching on it already. Go for it.
Yeah. By the way, everyone, please do smash a like, man. It goes a long way. Regarding Nagelsmann, I've wanted this guy since Leipzig. Like, he ticks a lot of boxes. Don't get me wrong, there's a few question marks as to why he got sacked by Bayern Munich, such as disciplinary issues, the whole Neuer situation, and also his general mannerism. But I think that's like a job that's too big for him. In terms of what he done with Leipzig, they had one of the best defensive records. He had them playing good tactical football. On the ball, I think they played in a back three at times. So again, ideal for us. And he improved the likes, well, several players. He had Werner balling out, Sabosle, a lot of people up and coming, you know. It was a good squad, very positive, young, fresh ideas. My only concern, like I said, is the disciplinary issues. And also, is it the right person but the wrong time? In terms of, I like what Ten Hag done with the Ronaldo situation, and he managed a lot of big characters in the change room. I have a few question marks based on what happened with Bayern and the job at hand with Tottenham. You know, they've got all this coming out with the club, with certain players to do the annual crap with, you know, getting tired of training sessions and turning on the manager. So I want to see how he kind of deals with the change. It'll be interesting to see, but I like him. I like him a lot, man. He's very young, fresh ideas. I don't think any other candidates are realistic. I think the Zarbi's not realistic. I don't know too much about the Celtic manager.
Would you take Bielsa?
You say, sorry, who's on?
Would you take Bielsa, Ethan?
Nah.
Why not?
Nah.
I didn't like the fact he didn't have a plan B, and I need a manager with plan Bs.
Also, he don't speak English. He wouldn't work at a big club. That's my problem. I don't feel like for a club like Tottenham, a club that has not even like anything against the fact that he don't speak English, but a club like us that compete on such a high level with the best, with so many different players, we need a manager that's going to be able to not just communicate with the players well, communicate with the board, communicate with all the different levels of Tottenham. It's not like managing Leeds where you just manage the first team squad and whatever happens. Like they're a big club outside of the football club, but Leeds is a small club in itself. They got a big fan base. But
George,
Tottenham,
wouldn't people argue the same for your club?
No, because we've got a big fan base and we're a big club. We operate like a big club. We don't operate on a small club level, and that's the problem. I feel like if we bring in someone like Bielsa, who's going to have to speak to all these, like, you just have to have control of all the different things going on around Tottenham. I don't feel like a manager like Bielsa would be able to handle that. I'm not saying that he's not a good manager, because I think he's a good manager, but that football has also shown that you play heavy metal football for 6 months. The rest of the 3 months of the season, his teams always fall off. And he got sacked for that because Leeds just couldn't sustain his level of football for the whole 9 months. They would always fall off at some point. And he'd get a bunch of injuries at one point as well, which would just end up killing his squad. But like Ethan said, Nagelsmann's the top pick. That's a no-brainer. He's a manager that's young. He's a manager that's got multiple styles of football that he can play. You even see with Bayern Munich, he's used like 3 or 4 different formations in just the last 5 games. So you've got a manager that can adapt to the squad. He can adapt in-game and he can adapt to the different team. But also, like you said, he plays with a back three as well. He likes using a back three. Right now, I feel like with the squad that we have, unless we make ample amount of buys in the defensive, the defensive unit, we aren't going to be able to improve that backline without playing a back three. So we're going to need a manager that can adapt to that. And then I just think that his time at Bayern has been good. It's not been amazing. He's not been one of the best Bayern managers, but we all know when he went and took that job, he was a young manager. He's only had about 5 years of managerial experience. So I think everyone knew it might be just a bit too early for him to take that Bayern job. And he didn't perform bad. He won the league with them last season in his first year. And this year he probably would have won the league as well. They've only lost 3 games in the league. But obviously, Bayern, they're so strict. They want their managers to be battling for doubles every year. And if it's not a double, then it's not a good season. And I don't blame them. So they got rid of him. I feel like Tottenham's a step down. And it's probably like many people will keep saying, and people think it's a dig at Spurs. Nagelsman is Tottenham's level. It is. Him going to a big club like Real Madrid is not his level. He hasn't had enough experience to go and manage a big club with big personalities, with big players. Tottenham is that level of club where you bring in a manager like him, where he's a project manager, someone who's young, someone who's looking to make their stamp in football. And they need a team like us to go out there and make their name again. And I feel like this is the perfect meet-up for us because we tried to get him before, but when Mourinho left, we couldn't make it happen. And so now this is a time where we can bring Nagelsmann in, let him take over this squad. And I think he would have a positive impact on some of these players that need, as you say, mentality changes. I feel like he can help with that. And I think that he'll have a good impact on our team. I feel like he'll work with the board well. I don't feel like he's going to be like Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, where they're like, I want this specific player, I want this profile, and if I don't get this, I'm going to call you out in the press conference. That's not going to happen with him. I feel like he's a manager that will adapt very well, similar to, like you say, Mikel Arteta and some of the other younger managers. They've got a plan A, they've got a plan B.
It hurts you when you say Mikel Arteta.
It pisses me off, nothing more. But I like how Mikel Arteta moves in some situations where when Arsenal didn't get their plan A in the January, they had a plan B lined up. They got Jorginho. And then when they didn't get their plan A in Mudryk, they had Trossard lined up. They got that in, and they was happy with it. And they're both good signings. I feel like Nagelsmann's a similar manager in that fact that he'll have multiple players because he just wants a profile. And as long as we get that profile, he'll make it happen and he'll make it work.
I think, just to touch upon it, it's a good point, Jules. I think one thing that I'm admiring from all these young and up-and-coming managers is the connection. I think since Spurs fans, since Poch has left, we haven't been really truly connected to a manager. I think that the disconnection between the fans, all right, the style of football's not been great, but I think that comes from the passion. Conte showed a bit of passion, which was great, but in terms of a manager incorporating the culture, you know, NLD, that's a big thing to a lot of Spurs fans, you know, just adapting that culture. I've heard stories of Ten Hag going out, riding a bike and flipping Manchester just to get a feel of what the people are like. Do you know what I mean? Some sort of manager that's really on his game and, you know, lives and breathes the club. I need that in my club. So they can understand, first of all, simple things like budget, simple things like just the general feel of the club, if you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, again, it goes back to the actual size of the job on hand, innit? And I do have a few question marks over Nagelsmann. I do.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, because you see, George touched on it as well just now when he spoke. Big up to His Majesty again, who just says game over and his super sticker. Big up to you, Akhi. Thanks so much for the super chat, and Ramadan Kareem to you as well. Bro, listen, here's the thing. You know, George touched on it. And I'm not being condescending. He said it first, so I'm just repeat what he said. You know, Nagelsmann really is Spurs level. Like, with all due respect, you went for the elite manager. You went for the Conte, fresh off winning Serie A. You went to Jose Mourinho, fresh off winning the Europa League and the Carabao Cup with Man United, probably their best ever season post-Ferguson. Like, you went for that. You tried it, and it still didn't succeed. So maybe, and George knows exactly what I'm about to say because he speaks to a lot of them. Ethan as well, probably exactly the same. A lot of the Spurs fans, they just want to watch good football. Like, I know this might be not you two. It might be not you both. It might be all the other people. But a lot of Spurs fans just want to watch good football and have a good time and all of that stuff, you know. Just, you know, the typical small club mentality stuff. Sorry, I apologize once again. But I'm not saying this to be an asshole or anything. I'm just speaking the facts. So, from Nagelsmann's perspective, do I think he's a better manager than Pep, than Klopp, than, you know, others in this league? to push you enough to that level? No. But now, once again, it all rests in the hands of the board, because you guys both touched on it. Getting your first options, getting the actual good players, and all these players that you guys have been talking about, like the likes of the Sanchez's and the Dyers and the Davies and all these guys. Like, it's time to let go. It really is time to let go. Like, I don't understand how long you could run with these players. It's time to move on. It's time to move on, honestly. And I don't know how you could get rid of all these players, like in such a quick period of time. I think, would you guys agree the new manager probably needs 2 or 3 years just getting rid of these guys?
Yeah.
Probably.
Fans have to be patient. Definitely.
I think they definitely need a few seasons. The only problem we have is that I don't think there's many teams going out there to buy our players, because our players, the thing is, difference in Tottenham is that the shit players in Tottenham are generally shit, and they need game time to prove otherwise. They ain't gonna get the game time at Tottenham, so we're either gonna have to send them out on loan or sell them for pennies, which I don't think that many clubs are gonna buy them for. So I feel like we're gonna have to wait for a lot of them to run their contracts down, if not terminate contracts in the last season, because like I said, it's going to be a 2 to 3 year job to get rid of 8 or 9 players that just aren't good enough.
I think, for me, I agree with you. I think we need to take the hit on so many players. But even if you backtrack to this January window, we're currently on only Pedro Porro as a senior right wing back. We had 4. Jed Spence on loan, barely got any football. Matt Doherty went to Atletico Madrid, is meant to be a loan, and the club figured out last minute that they had to terminate his contract to allow him to go. George, just deep. This is our future is in the holds of idiots like that. Just deep that. The future's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good at all. And then I look at stuff like Japhet Tanganga, been there for way too long.
Tanganga's the least of your worries. Some of the players you guys speaking on, like
he's at least my worries. But again, like
players who've been there 10 years and stuff, like like what? How are you gonna even get rid of these guys? Who's gonna buy them?
Well, take the hit. Look at Dele Alli. You let him go for free, and look at him. He's bunking off from whatever Turkish club he's at.
Yeah, by the way, the Turkish people don't like him either, because they're like, oh, he doesn't come to training because it's cold. That's basically what they say.
I don't blame him, to be fair. He got told he's not part of the plans, isn't it? So,
when you look at Dele Alli when he first made his debut, like, and when he played like those first year, second year, you'd have thought maybe this guy's gonna go on to be one of the best Premier League midfielders of all time and stuff like that. And his fall off should be studied, like how to not ruin your career. Like, honestly, man, this guy is just, it's insane. It's insane. So now looking forward, you still have, we're in 28th March now. There's about 2 months or so to go in this season. What do you expect of? By the way, is it a caretaker now, right? Conte's assistant.
So what I think's actually happening is the specifics of it is Conte's left, and Conte was like, do you know what? I can't be asked to manage this club for the rest of the season. But Stellini, you stay, bro. You go get your bag. You take that money, because at the end of the day, if Tottenham was to sack Conte, you're gonna sack his whole backroom staff with him. That's a whole lot of money. That's a cash flow that you do not want going out at the back end of the season. So I feel like we've got Stellini and his backroom staff, the Conte team, because let's not get it wrong. He is Conte. He takes Conte's training sessions. If you don't like Conte, you can't like Stellini. He plays the exact same football. Like, that's
what I was about to ask you. So, like, what happens next? Like,
right now, we're just playing out the season until we can get to the end and hope that we get fourth. We literally just praying for fourth.
With Stellini, or do you think the new guy comes in now?
No, I don't. I feel like even if we do hire a new manager, they're not going to come in until the season's over. I feel like we're going to make the agreement in place that Stellini's going to see out the season, and whenever a new manager comes in, he'll come in at the end and just sort of do like a handover, like you would in a job if you leave your job, but you've got like a month notice. I think that what's happening. Stellini's working his 1-2 month notice until the end of the season, in which he parts ways with Tottenham, and the new group of managers and backroom staff come in. And right now, we're just Levy thinks that Stellini and Ryan Mason is the way that's going to get us to top 4. Because if it's not Conte, that's the closest thing to it. So that's going to get us to 4th without bringing in a new manager. That disrupts the flow of the season. So that's sort of where we're at now. And I completely disagree with that, by the way. We should have brought in a fuck 4th. Like, forget what happens with 4th. We're going to go out of the Champions League no matter what round it is next season. We're not winning it. So we're going there to participate. We're going there for whatever reason we are. I don't really care. We should be bringing in a manager now, letting the manager have a head start of the back end of this season so he can try and implement his style of football. It won't be implemented correctly, but he can start to get a few players that he likes to start sort of promoting that within the team, and then start to weed out a couple of the players that he doesn't like. Because there's a few games into the season, or with even just 5 games, you can look at a few players and be like, that's not going to work for me. And that's what I'd like to see. But obviously, things always happen slow at Tottenham. We're probably not going to have a new manager until July 1st. Remember what happened with Nuno? We went into pre-season without a manager. Like, that's the type of business.
Bro, this is, Joyce, I'm telling you, this is what our fate is in. Hands of idiots. Complete idiots. Another thing, just to touch upon that, I do slightly agree with you, but at the same time, it's good for a manager to come with kind of fresh ideas and reevaluate the squad, get a proper pre-season with the players as well. But we don't even know who our director of football is going to be next season. So when we're meant to be sitting down and identifying targets, we don't even know who our manager is. We don't know who our director of football is going to be.
He really might be getting bagged. I heard that the hearing is going on currently. Like today, the next week, he's having his hearing to see whether he's going to be going to criminal court for everything that went on in it.
So it's very I can like you guys listening to the last 54 minutes. I feel so much more confident in the top 4 now. Like I'm gonna just need us to win 2 or 3 games, and I'm gonna be speaking the most, man. These guys are struggling. I swear to God.
How do you feel like in terms of looking at it? What's your biggest threat for the top 4 in general? Would you say it's still us or Newcastle?
I can't lie. There's a dream world in which me and you both make the top 4, and the biggest bastards in this league fall off. That would be when I just celebrate, like, you know, your feeling last season. You didn't win, and I wouldn't win anything this season. But it's the idea that it's them who get knocked off. Like, if it's them who get, if somehow me and you are 3rd and 4th, and they end up finishing 5th, that'll be the best thing ever. That would be incredible if they.
We could have went above them though. We really could have if we didn't lose like 2 games ago against Wolves, and then we lost another game, and then we dropped points at Southampton. We'd be above United right now, you know. And that's what hurts the most, is knowing that how shit we are, we could still be 3rd. Like, we could still be in a lot better position, but these players just can't get over the line in some simple games against the likes of Southampton when you're 3-1 up. 3-1 up. It happened to us last season too.
What makes matters worse is that we just crashed out of 2 cups in a week. Only Tottenham would do that. Liverpool, I can honestly say, if you guys crash out of a cup, you know next week they're fucking up whoever they got. Whoever. City, same thing. Arsenal, same thing. Tottenham come out of 2 cups. Celebrating 40 years.
Don't do that, Hussam.
Bro, don't do what? You're telling me, George, you didn't celebrate that 7-0. You know you were.
I just mean straight after the 7-0, you lost against Bournemouth.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Listen, 10 years from now, who's going to remember Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 0? No one. Who's going to remember Liverpool 7-0? Every single human.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, I don't see Liverpool
if you take a 7-0 win against Arsenal right now, if it meant that you know, Spurs don't finish top 4.
I need you guys to beat Arsenal. I need that. Like, that needs to be the next game you pick up points in. I don't care about City and Chelsea.
Again, I'm needed.
I need it.
It's wild because I play City and Arsenal next. That's wild. Like,
oh, you know, you need it, especially for spaces, bro. You know what that. If you are the team that stops Arsenal from winning the league, that's gonna.
Or I could be the team that stops City from winning the league. I'm celebrating either way. Hey, I get to roast Hamza or I get to roast Mo. Like, you know, it's a celebration.
You could be ways for both of them.
you know the scenarios like this I like, because it's like 2 teams going for the title that I don't care about. Like if this was like United or like a Chelsea, clubs I actually hate, like clubs I hate deep inside, I would be so annoyed.
No, Hussam, don't lie. It hurts you a bit about City, man. 3 in a row, that will hurt you.
I promise you, I have no bad feelings towards City whatsoever. I do not hate City.
So what
But
about
let's
us?
Also, their fan base is horrible, man.
I know who Sam. I've watched you personally have so many arguments with Arsenal fans on Spaces.
Yeah,
So many.
Correct.
Them getting a prem. 100%.
Correct. Let me just say this. This is how I look at it, because you need to understand I'm in a different position than most. Man United hate both. Chelsea hate Arsenal. Tottenham hate Arsenal, etc. For me, both are not my rivals, right? So for me, I look at it this way. The City team is so unlikable, but their fan base don't exist. In real life, we don't know a City fan. Let's cut the crap here. No one knows a City fan in real life.
So,
In my 365 days in Jordan, I do not know a single City fan. My life moves on the next day. But with Arsenal, it's the opposite. Their team, and I know you guys might not admit this, their team is very likable as players, but their fan base is so unlikable. Like, I cannot stand that fan base. Honestly,
they're the worst. 100%. And that's the thing. What makes matters worse is they'll celebrate the Prem. They'll have one celebration for that. Then they'll have the celebration for us. So they'll have a designated day where they just mock us. And bro, I don't want to live through that, innit? I don't want to, by any means. Honestly, it'll be interesting.
Bro, I can't lie. Arsenal fans are horrible. Still, Man United fans have to heard. Have you seen how United fans have behaved this season? Have you seen? De Gea, best keeper in the world. Lisandro, best centre back. Varane and Lisandro is the best centre back.
Now, the Rashford stuff, man.
Luke Shaw's best left back. They compared Rashford to Mbappe, bro.
I still don't get it, because how much years older than Mbappe? Like 3 or 4 years older than him as well. Yeah. Like Rashford's a big man. Like he should be.
He ain't a youngster no more.
He's getting Lingard vibes, bro.
He's 26, bro. He's 26.
He really like any other player, any other winger. You're looking at 25, 26-year-old. You're saying, okay, that's their prime. Like, they should be touching their prime now. Why is everyone so surprised that Rashford's playing good? This is what he should be doing.
You know what's mad, George? Salah got more GA than Rashford, and I've been calling Salah crap like 3/4 of the season. And these guys are comparing Rashford to Mbappe. Like, fuck him all. Like, bro.
It's because of that.
Honestly, you know what? I'm going to speak to all the rival fans here. Anyone who called Liverpool unbearable when we were about to win the league in 1920, you guys are all wrong-uns. Because now you see the real unbearables. It's definitely Arsenal more unbearable than us. It's definitely United more unbearable than us. I promise you right here, right now, those two are a lot more unbearable than us. You know?
So for me, what makes matters worse is with you guys, like you were fighting with City, you just won a Champions League. Like it was going to happen eventually. With Arsenal, it's come out of nowhere. I'm not mentally prepared for this crap. Do you get it?
They went from 5th to
they need to get top 4 and then win the title or something. But this, to go from 8th to 5th to winning the Prem.
Ethan is essentially saying it was an RKO, but out of nowhere. That's what made it work.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't ready for it.
I can't lie, no one was ready. Who thought Arsenal gonna win the league this season? Who? From 5th with Europa League football.
Only Mo, man.
Only Mo, and I have no idea how he thought that. And by the way, 3/4 of the people thought he was delusional as well. So,
I remember that.
Yeah. Exactly. See, Johnny, you're an Arsenal fan, but you have to stop being shameless. Of course, bro, I just beat my biggest rival 7-0. I was gonna dunk on their head till 2 weeks minimum. If I give Ethan or George a 7-0 win against Arsenal, what, do you think they're just gonna smile and move on?
They'll be rinsing out.
Bro, they're ruining the Arsenal fans. They know his lives. And this is what I did. I smoked cigars. I drank hella 7-Up. I dunked on Flawless, on every single United fan I worked with. Those are the good times as well. I went on Troops' channel the next day and I roasted the shit out of Flawless. Honestly, that was amazing. So, let me just final segment. Do you guys think you're going to make the top 4 or you think you're going to fall off?
Do you want to answer?
Nah, go for it first. I'm going to look at the table and make sure I assess it well.
Back yourself up. All right, so Newcastle have a game in hand on us. Brighton have 2 games in hand. I don't really worry about them. Newcastle, they got a tough one. Liverpool have the toughest run. They got Diaz coming back. And Thiago, is Thiago back in training yet?
Thiago, yes.
He's back, yeah? That's a scary side.
I think he's going to be back, not for City, for Arsenal. I think he's back for Arsenal. Yeah. The second game after the international break.
Okay. If you guys get signed at that City game, I'll back you to get top 4. I think on of fixtures, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. We've been there before. Majority of them are at home. So, yeah, I think we can get top 4, to be honest. odds are in our favour.
That is such a non-confident answer, Ethan. Where's your mojo, brother? Where's the mojo?
It's because of the City game, innit, bro? I think it's between myself and you, but that City game at 12:30 kickoff, Haaland's injured. I'd just rather
Nah.
Haaland ain't injured. Haaland's fit. Foden's
No, he's fit. Haaland's back.
Yeah, Foden's injured up. Apparently, if he misses the training just before, he won't play.
I think he'll play. I think that's all. They're just trying to get Liverpool gassed up. Liverpool, I promise you now, they're not making top 4. They're not. I'm very confident of that.
Why?
I do you know what? I don't see you guys getting a win against City. I don't see you beating Chelsea. I don't see you beating Arsenal. And then I see you dropping points in the game after. We've still got to play you after that. So I feel like your next 3 games, you're looking at potentially falling further behind us. And the gap between us and you could very well be. I think you got 2 games in hand on us at the moment.
George, I can't lie to you. You're looking at this the wrong way. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if we beat City, we beat Arsenal and Chelsea, and then lose to Leeds.
No. I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think so. Look, with the games in hand, if you did win both your games in hand, you'd be a point behind us. It's not going to be impossible. We've got to play you away at Anfield. That will be an important game. And at Anfield, will we win? We won't. A draw.
That's going to be a stink fest. I don't even think that's going to be. If you're a neutral, don't watch that game. I'm telling you now.
I feel like it's going to be tight. It's going to go down to the last.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be stinky. It's going to be stinky. I'm telling you now.
Stakes are high, though. They're high.
I think we're going to make top 4.
Did any of you guys watch that Liverpool-Chelsea game at Anfield?
Yeah, the 0-0.
Was that not the most horrible game of football all year long?
That was boring, man.
The highlight of the game was Mudryk dribbling past Milner. Yeah. You know that, right? That was the highlight. The highlight was Mudryk dribbling past Milner. You know how sad that is for a game of football?
The advantage that you have is we've got to play you and Man United in the same week. We've got a midweek game against United before we play you away. So
the United's game.
Yeah, I feel like we might drop points in both of those games, but I feel like in the other games we can pick up points. We might get top 4. It's going to be tight though. It'll be only by a point if we do win it. I just don't think Liverpool's going to get it. I think someone else might. I think Newcastle's on our back. They could creep up late on in the season. They've got a few decent, and Brighton have hard fixtures, but they've got 3 games in hand, and they could go above us if they win a few of them. Like literally, they just need to win 2 of them, and they're a point within us.
With Brighton, it's the mentality.
So let me ask you guys a question: if Liverpool come out in this international break, some way somehow we beat City and Chelsea, do you say we're gonna finish top 4 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, you beat
then this started working then.
And then when it clicks for you, it just clicks. That's the problem. I'd even go on to say
United. I need United to drop off. I don't even mind you guys. I just need United to just somehow drop off, man. Casemiro.
United got Chelsea after the international.
United's got far too many. They got games in hands as well, man.
No, but here's the thing, George. You got to look at it this way. Let's look at United fixtures now that Casemiro's out in. They have to play Newcastle away without Casemiro, and then they have to play Brentford at home without Casemiro, and Everton without Casemiro. Those ain't easy games because Everton fighting for their lives. We saw what they just did to Chelsea. I'm gonna be real with you. And then you go to the standings. Man United are only 1 point above you, and they are 8 points above me. But those 3 next games for them could swing the pendulum. Like honestly,
they do have Europa League and FA Cup. They got a semi-final in the FA Cup and 2 quarter. Like they've literally got 2-3 games a week for the next. And until the end of the season. So you might be right. I think United could potentially fall off, worst case. I just don't see them dropping that many points. Like they'd have to drop points in 3 or 4 consecutive Premier League games.
And George, let me have it. Let me just be happy. Listen, let's just end this video on a positive note for us both. Arsenal not winning the league and United falling off top 4. Then we can both be happy together.
That'd be amazing.
Let's just end it this way. So big up to you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to this football. This was a great video. We broke the record for a Tottenham stream, so big up to George, big up Ethan, big up to everyone who's watching us right now. Still 150 people in this comment section. Make sure you slap the like button. We are only 5 likes away from 100 likes, so give us a like on the way out. Big up to Ryan, AJ, Qusay, and Katia's lawyer, and to my guy, what was the name again? His Majesty. For the 2 super stickers. Big up to you, my brothers. Slap up the likes, subscribe. Before we head out, we're going to go to these 2 lovely Spurs fans, and we're going to let you know where you can find them. Ethan, my brother, welcome back. Been a while. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Big Six Bants, regular review shows. George and Hussein have both been on. Everyone make sure to smash a like. Also on Twitter, I'm Ethan_T100. Been a pleasure having being on.
Always welcome, Ethan. Big up to you, brother. And George, the same, my brother. Where can people find you?
Yeah, man, you can catch me _4George on pretty much all my socials, if it's not just 4George. You catch me here, there, and everywhere on most different podcast platforms. Like you said, I'm on Big Six Bands. This is football, never a foul. Where whoever it is, you probably have seen me. So catch me around, and then Durag Diaries on TikTok. That's where I'm at most of the time with the Durag on. Whether it's a bad review, good review, it's just Tottenham takes. I take it. And yeah, got a lot to say right now.
Big up, George.
Thank
And
you for having
hey,
me on, bro.
I'm gonna hop off and go see it because I rattled Terry so much he went made a skull space.
I see. He's got a whole skull space.
He's
so
triggered. No one triggers that fan base like me. I'm telling you now. That's one trophy that I will have on my head to the day I rest, man. Anyway, make sure you go follow George. Make sure you follow Ethan. Subscribe to Big Six Bands. Check out Durag Diaries. I've watched a whole lot of it. It's great stuff. Specifically after a loss, though. I'm gonna be honest. After a loss, George is amazing to listen to after a loss as a rival fan. But slap the like, subscribe, and see you guys tomorrow. Inshallah, might be a Mane Salah debate, perhaps a City preview. I have no idea what we're gonna do, which is why I need to hit the notification bell. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.